getting filler because it goes away after a few months. It's like, it's literally just like me popping on some blush. Like it's nothing to these people. To the point where I was reading, I was like, should I? Am I? Pencil skirt, pencil skirt. What a pencil, a skirt, pencil skirt. What a pencil skirt, pencil skirt. What? I'm sorry. I might not make it a habit of doing that before every video, but you know I can't promise something like that. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Khadija, your favorite internet play auntie. Hello to all my returning nieces, nephews, and nibblings. If you are new, feel free to take a look around, suss out the vibe. I sit on my floor, talk about any and everything. Sometimes I talk to my friends and sometimes I do video essays. Real quick though. Sorry, I'm out of breath. How does Megan Thee Stallion do it? What? I want to just say thank you to all of my new subscribers. Like, y'all are just coming out of the woodwork. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. I know a few of you mentioned that you were from Amanda's video on the myth of meritocracy on YouTube. Go check it out. It is a good one. Open my eyes. But yeah, just thank you so much for not only taking time out of your day to watch my videos, but to also subscribe. And some of you are all like, commenting for the algorithm. And I'm like, thank you. Because I do so much work on these videos. And I be doing research, I be reading. And I discovered Google Scholar. So like, she out here. And it just means so much. Thank you. But yeah, I want to do a quick little thing and let you know that next week, Friday, I'm not going to have a video out. Those of you that have seen my videos before know that the Sunday before I release a video essay, I don't release a video on the Friday. But I'm going to start doing a thing where the Thursday before, or just random Thursday, any random Thursday essentially, I'll just release a video on whatever I feel like. It won't be a social commentary one like my Friday videos because it just won't. It'll probably be on nonsense. The one next Thursday is going to be explaining the plot of famous operas, or where I break down the plot of one famous opera in particular, which means that the Sunday after that is going to be my video essay on pretty privilege, which is what has inspired this video. So let's get into why you clicked in the first place. So like I said, I'm doing a video essay on pretty privilege, and in doing research for it, I was kind of trying to think about how Instagram has changed the way we define beauty, because I'm like, Instagram has to be involved somehow. I know. Well, while I was doing the pretty privilege research and wondering how Instagram fits into all of this, I came across a concept or term called Instagram face. Y'all, you know me. If it's a socio-cultural phenomenon, I am on it. So I started to look into this more and found an article from the New Yorker's 2019 issue of A Decade in Review by Gia Tolentino titled Instagram Face: How Social Media, Facetune, and Plastic Surgery Create a Single Cyborgian Look. Yo. So I clicked this, started reading the article, and I was just like freaking out, because do y'all ever go through the gram and you're looking and you're like, why do all these people look the same? And you know what I'm talking about. They all literally have the same face, but just different skin tones. That's Instagram face. It's young, poreless skin, high, plump cheekbones, long lashes, cat-like eyes, a small, neat nose, and of course, really luscious lips. So this look is achieved through a lot of different things, mostly Photoshop apps like Facetune, minimally invasive cosmetic procedures known as tweakments. And yeah, those are the two main ones to achieve this look. And if you naturally just kind of have this face. Tolentino also goes on to talk about how the face is white, but racially ambiguous. And I was like, yes! Because, as you know, last week we were talking about blackfishing. And like I said in that video, I don't believe that any of these women want to be black, but I do believe that they want to be racially ambiguous while still maintaining Eurocentric beauty standards. And Tolentino calls this a rootless exoticism. So I want to read you a little excerpt from this article, and it is her talking to a famous makeup artist named Colby Smith. It says, "There was something strange," I said, "about the racial aspect of Instagram face. It was as if the algorithmic tendency to flatten everything into a composite of greatest hits had resulted in a beauty ideal that favored white women capable of manufacturing a look of rootless exoticism." "Absolutely," Smith said. "We're talking an overly tan skin tone, a South Asian influence with the brows and eye shape, an African American influence with the lips, a Caucasian influence with the nose, a cheek structure that is predominantly Native American and Middle Eastern." Did Smith think that Instagram face was actually making people look better? He did. "People are absolutely getting prettier," he said. "The world is so visual right now, and it's only getting more visual, and people want to upgrade the way they relate to it." And I just thought that was really interesting because it does speak again to that racial ambiguity where it's not necessarily definitely you trying to look like this specific race, but like an amalgamation of all these different ethnicities and using all of that under a semi-tanned skin tone. It's very like I know National Geographic did a discussion on this back in 2013 or 2014, I believe, for their 125th anniversary issue, where they talked about how America would look more racially ambiguous by the year 2050 because more people were getting into interracial relationships and things like that. So it's kind of interesting that it's like the way we're sort of moving in our society, how it affects beauty standards, and then with the technology of Instagram, it's all just like... But now, y'all, as much as I love making it about race, and you know she do, I'm going to let the racial aspect of things take a bit of a back seat for now and talk about two other factors that help contribute to making Instagram face a thing and normalizing it more, not just on Instagram, but everywhere. And the first one being cosmetic surgery, specifically the accessibility to cosmetic surgery nowadays. So according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, cosmetic procedures, minimally invasive cosmetic ones, have gone up 200% since the year 2000. And those are those tweakments that I was talking about earlier. It's things like lip filler in your cheeks to make them, cheekbones, all that other stuff. They find when they're talking to men, and I'm not trying to be gender binary about it, but a lot of the articles were very like men and women. So anyone that identifies as male and wanting to look more masculine, those procedures were more about having masculine features, so doing adjustments to their jawline, to their neck, to their chin. Whereas with women, or anyone identifying as a woman wanting to look more feminine, let's say, they would opt for more feminine-like features. So what I was talking about with like having the bigger eyes and the nice high cheekbones and the softer jawline and stuff like that. Actually, there's a term for this. It's called sexual dimorphism. It's basically masculine traits in men, feminine traits in women. I'm going to go more in depth with that when I do the pretty privilege thing. There's so much to talk about within that because it's the ways we rate, the ways we view attractiveness. We'll chat. But I think the thing that was really weird to me and kind of like, oh shit, in these articles that I was reading, a lot of the surgeons and experts that they were talking to were just like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, it's like whatever. It's like putting on lip gloss. Like,
honey, shoulder pads, honey, and just this, honey.
Getting filler because it goes away after a few months. It's like, it's literally just like me popping on some blush. Like, it's nothing to these people. To the point where I was reading, I was like, I think I should point out the thing that also made me kind of feel weird when I was reading how easy it is and how nonchalant a lot of these even surgeons think about these procedures. It's not that it's not a big deal because it's your body. If you have the money and the means to do things like this, then go ahead, do whatever you want. If you want to just enhance a little bit, then do that because that's how people see it. It's just an enhancement. It's not an invasive surgery changing your complete face. But a lot of young people are on Instagram, and there was a Vice experiment that they did where they went into about 20 different aesthetic clinics in Essex and London and just went with a 16-year-old actor to see if any of these doctors would be willing to do a lip injection procedure on this girl. And 90% of them didn't even ask the girl's age to book her for the appointment. She didn't get it or anything like that, but they didn't ask to book her for the appointment or ask for her ID. And it's kind of like, okay, yes, There's one thing to be said about it being a simple procedure and it goes away after a while and whatever. But like, if you could be 16 years old, at least in London and Essex, I'm not saying this happened in the States, but if you could be 16 years old and walk in somewhere and book an appointment for a cosmetic procedure, no matter how minimally invasive it is, girl, what? Listen, again, as I said, cool, fun, millennial auntie. I care. But like, you know, bodies are still developing. At 16, how you gonna change something that's still shifting, you know? So I want to also now talk about technology and how that plays a really big role in this phenomenon of Instagram face and our general need to want to look perfect. So we all know that YouTube has an algorithm. So from my understanding, and y'all can totally correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, but what I understand about these algorithms is that things that have a precedent for success are the things that get pushed forward more and more, because the whole purpose is that these social media platforms want you to stay on their platforms as long as possible. It's audience retention. They want engagement. They want to see if you can keep engagement, if you can keep people watching, keep people listening, keep people scrolling. That's, you know? And if you like something and you engage with it, they're going to keep feeding you more of the same thing because they're just trying to keep your attention. They're like, this thing kept this person's attention, so we're just going to give that person more of it, and then they'll stay on the app longer or on the website longer. How I believe this fits into Instagram face is if you have a certain look and a certain aesthetic that just works for Instagram and a lot of people respond well to that, more people try to emulate that look. Like a lot of these plastic surgeons were talking about the fact that Kim Kardashian was one of the main top celebrities that girls would bring their photos in for, of wanting procedures to look like her or have little stuff done to look like her. I don't know, is Kim the most followed person on Instagram? I'm gonna put a thing below and see who that actually is. But it makes sense if you have people liking and engaging in photos and scrolling through someone's Instagram and constantly on that person's page. And maybe it's different for Instagram than it is for YouTube. Again, those of you that know, comment below. But I think it's just interesting how algorithms work to the benefit of people who look a certain way as well. I mean, y'all heard about that TikTok algorithm, right? Let me just say, since I don't want to contribute to spreading more false information out there, this was actually based on a BuzzFeed News article, and they spoke to a representative from TikTok who said that the algorithm is actually based on something called collaborative filtering. So if a user follows account A, or users who follow account A also follow account B. So if you follow account A, you're likely to follow account B based off of the users that also follow them. And I should just say, though, that this doesn't necessarily account for people's biases. You know, if I'm a person that likes to watch a specific type of person on YouTube or, you know, anywhere, and algorithms catch on to that, they're going to give me more of that type of person as opposed to giving me a more diverse feed. You know what I'm saying? Also, can we talk about my cheekbones here? Hi, girl. Thank you. Hello. Okay, sorry. I'm distracted. I'm sorry. And algorithms aside, technology itself plays a really big role in all of this. So in an interview with Paper Magazine, a British academic named Heather Widdows, who's the author of a book called Perfect Me, she talked about this growing preoccupation with the thing she calls forensic gaze. She talks about how it's stimulated by our ever-growing visual culture, you know, the fact that we have high-def cameras and screens that require us to be all smoothed out. And when you look at Instagram and Snapchat filters and stuff like that, those things do the exact same thing. So it only makes sense that people want to look that way. In some of the other readings that I was doing, you'll have surgeons say, yeah, people will come in and want to look like how they look in their filter, not even necessarily look like a different celebrity, but just look like themselves, but better. So I don't know, it's very interesting to me how technology and celebrity culture is morphing beauty standards. And I know I left out probably a really big factor, aka the patriarchy, and how most of these plastic surgeons are men. Most of advertising agents from back in the day were men telling women what beauty was. We know. But another thing that and my brain's kind of all over the place in thinking about it, but another thing that kind of made me go, was I get a really uncanny valley vibe with the way things are going in terms of Instagram face and just how people are manipulating their facial features to look more like they would on a 4K camera in real life. And yes, I know that has more to do with like AI and dolls, but I just feel like this need for us to have perfect symmetry and perfect facial features, it gives me the uncanny valley kind of vibes. And I feel like in the future, we're gonna all start looking like weird, high cheekboned robot. And I just don't know how realistic that can be, because the cameras are designed to make us look better or more attractive or whatever, I guess. But can we really expect people to look that way in person? Like, is that a real thing? Like, what happened to individual aesthetics, you know? Like, I think that's beautiful. I don't know if y'all watch Sideways videos at all. He does more music commentary, but he did a whole video talking about auto-tune and how when you're singing live, a lot of singers that sing live nowadays are singing live, but it's a combination of live and pitch correction in their mic. So it's not auto-tune, it's pitch correction. And people won't know that it's pitch correction because it sounds just like the regular voice. But the minute they hear that of auto-tune, I don't know how to do it, but the minute they hear that, they know it's fake. And it's like, people want a sort of realistic sort of thing, but they also want a lie as well. And that's what I feel like with Instagram face. Like, it's like, you know, it's not real to an extent, but it looks real enough that you believe it still, and you believe that you can achieve that look. And that's so much more like mind fucky to me, because it's like, what are we gonna look like in the future then if these subtle changes happen? Because surgeons will talk about the fact that like people doing these minimally invasive cosmetic procedures, these tweakments, they're not gonna look different day to day. But if you compare a picture of them from like 5 years ago to now, yeah, they look completely different. And that's how those things start to happen, you know? I'm just wondering, like, 10 years from now, are we gonna start looking like this? Since y'all all want cheekbones and stuff? Look at me like I'm nuts, but I'm saying it. Don't say I didn't say it. It might seem like I'm being dramatic, but none of these things exist in a vacuum. With the advancement of technology, with our cell phones taking over more of our lives, with people using filters all the time, with these cosmetic procedures just becoming as simple as putting on chapstick, with the rise of AI, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not being unreasonable to be a little worried. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, thank you to all of you who are newly subscribed. I sincerely, from the bottom pits of my heart, appreciate it. I don't know what that voice was, I'm sorry. Also, side note, the image that I showed you was from a 2020 spring-summer Balenciaga campaign.
Any last words?
Balenciaga! I just can never not think of that when I say Balenciaga. I just can't. But yes, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you think. If you learned anything about Instagram face, or if you're just like, girl, what? Are we all turning into aliens? What? Poreless, smooth aliens? Ah! If you feel that way, comment too. You know, let me know, because that's my internal dialogue. And also share the video, because it really helps me out. You know, lets me chat to more people, and we all just create a little cute fam jam here. This video, I hope it's not too long. I'm gonna edit it down because I talked a lot. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And remember, you can always change your mind, because you can. All right, I will see you in the next one. Bye.